الله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Oh, thank you again for coming. I thought to cover the subject, we wanted to know how much people know, and then we can fill the gaps. A lot of you knows a lot about how to deal with teenagers, but there's quite a few actually don't know. And some, like in my school, in my classes, some clever student thought they will take everything and they will get the full mark. And I realized this can't be. So I looked into their answers. They ticked everything. So I changed the marking. For every correct answer, you get +1. For every wrong answer, you get -1. And I had 2 kids who scored -1 out of 21. So somebody keeps texting me, Talha. She wants me, while lecturing, to give her the address and everything. And Dan outside, if you want to open the door for him. So it was most of the people who answered were Muslims, only one who wasn't, and mostly women. So 30% were women who answered, and 49 women, 29 men, and 3 unrelated carers. 1 related carer, 1 unrelated carer. Now, every score should be out of 80. So 70, I will go through this in the second presentation, but you might not find the presentation readable. So forming a positive relationship with your teenagers is important. 10 didn't know. 65 know that setting boundaries, being consistent with sequences is important. 56 out of 80 thought arguing with teenager is often unproductive. And 53 thought punishing your teenager, they are correct obviously, shouting or shaming might be harmful. And 51 thought it's normal for teenagers to show challenging behavior. 51 out of 80, so 29 didn't know. And 1 said none of the above. All of them correct. And again, out of 80, they shift from one being ruled by parents to pursue their own goal. And it's diagnostic and discovery. I'll skip explaining everything, but just want to show you that nearly 40% didn't know. Again, when it goes to, from your experience, which of these is correct? One of them had none of the above, fluctuating in emotion and being moody and fussiness and refuse to eat certain food. And you go to this one is very important, because the important one is that the child or teenager withdraw and leave everybody and doesn't communicate, and that will be a major sign of being either very depressed or suicidal or have sometimes could be a start of psychotic illness. Very rare, but one of the parents mentioned to me, and I asked him more questions, and his son florid paranoid schizophrenic. And I say, I think I referred them to you. Didn't contact you. No. So only this one which make you very worried. And again, causes of challenging behavior. Again, many need educating, because nearly 40% didn't know. So I'll go back to the main research and what the research showed. I was late, Dan, don't worry. I was myself late. I was looking to the wrong clock. Or we're streaming, we promise people to stream. So this is the main presentation, my presentation. And key points to remember: it's normal for teenagers to show challenging behavior as they go through puberty and develop coping skills. Forming positive relationship with your teenager is important to help with the development of their resilience and problem-solving abilities as they gain independence. Arguing with teenagers is often unproductive and is best to diffuse the heated argument and to be calm and clear when speaking to your child. And setting boundaries, being consistent with consequences is important. And punishing your teenagers with physical discipline, shouting or shaming can be harmful. So challenging time for adolescents, because they are the time when they are really disoriented and discovering things, and their world shift from being ruled by their parents to the pursuit of their own goal and fulfillment of their own dreams, and more prone to risk-taking. And they explore a new relationship, and they try to find out their sexual identity, and they try to find or get a career in their life and have emotional and financial independence. Now, the challenging behavior in teenagers, there could be defiance, argumentative with parents or sibling. They could be disrespectful towards others in the family, like talking back, naming, calling names and things, and hurting others. Fluctuate in emotion and being moody. Aggressive or violent behavior, and fussiness of being refusal to eat certain food or drink or wear certain clothing. Mental health teenagers could be emotional period, could be challenging behavior, should not last for more than a few days. If it lasts for more than 2 weeks, being moody and low, that could be depression. You need to consult a doctor. At the very end, I have what should make you go to a doctor. It's natural for teenagers to want to disengage from their family and spend more time with their friends or participate in extracurricular activities. Now, withdrawing from all social interaction and no longer enjoys participating in activities they once enjoyed, this may be of concern when they totally withdrawn. As I said, it could be a genuine mental illness, could be too much stress, they can't cope, they withdraw, dissociate from others. What causes challenging behavior? Feel emotions very intensely. They do not yet have adequate coping skills. And believe me or not, if they don't develop coping skills and have cognitive functions normally assess this situation and adjust according to reasons and norm and things, they might have this for life and develop depression. Because one of the things we teach people with depression, something called cognitive behavior therapy. We treat the cognitions and we treat the behavior. So they need really to develop coping skills and balance it. They are very sensitive and self-conscious, so they might become more argumentative or disrespectful. And it is the brain is developing, and your frontal lobe isn't fully developed, so they might have low self-control. The result of stressful or worrying family events, or routine, or new school, or they moved home, or they are not sleeping, they're not eating enough, they spend a lot of screen time, or there is a mobile or TV or computer, or bullied at school, or they have genuine mental health. Many families, they think they are arguing inside the room, the bedroom, and the children don't pick it. Or they have a secret, the children don't know it. Don't be surprised. Children know the family secrets, and they could easily tell others. So they could get really distressed. And Dan will probably talk about this when the father and mother argue, the children under 10 think they are going to divorce, they're going to be without a father, without a mother, without a home. So you could raise really genuine anxiety in the children. How to deal with challenging behavior? Ignoring for minor, when they are attention seeking, you ignore that and carry on. Like my children know the phrase, when they complain of something, and say, "Oh, I know somebody who had the same and he died." So they, no, I'm not going to die. Okay, it's trivial then. Don't worry about it. Offer choice. Always offer choice. Don't offer, you have to do it this way. Would you like this way or this way or that way? Allow your child to make a decision by offering choices and teach them to consider consequences of their choices. Encouraging sympathy. Look what you have done. Your brother is crying. Your sister's afraid of going to school. You've been harsh with your cousin or something like this. Positive reinforcement, which is reinforce a positive behavior before they become negative. I think you are going through. I think you are doing a great job at playing gently with your brother, and other incentives. And incentives can be, or can things like offer them a choice of an activities, or choose an activity that you can do together, and be a role model to them, or set a boundaries, which set clear rules to involve your child in this process. And if the negative behavior continues, there should be a logical and age appropriate consequences, and time out is a common way to deliver an immediate consequences. 1 minute for every year. So now 15 years old will be 15 minutes. It sounds to me too long. Is it too long, Dan? Yeah, time out. 15 years, 1 minute per year.
Yeah, I mean, time out is useful probably for the younger children.
Yeah, not teenagers. Yeah. Taking away privileges can be an alternative. Be consistent with the approach and consequences, and encourage positive relationship. Encourage healthy habits in diet and exercise and adequate sleep, and listening to concerns in a compassionate way with your son or daughter, the teenagers, and allow them to speak uninterrupted. Problem solving together with your teenagers, and asking them if they would like to hear your opinion or advice. Because they're independent. Would you like me to advise? No, yeah, you go. But if you must listen to me, I'm your father, I'm the dictator here. Showing interest in what's happening in their life, and celebrating their achievements, and encouraging talking about emotions and problems. Will be more discussion in the second part, and I'm sure Dr. Dan will tackle that better than me. And spending time with your teenager on one-to-one and together as a family. Ignoring minor attention-seeking behavior. Try to diffuse heated argument. I've given you the handout so you could probably have more to read when you go home, and form in your mind a plan for you and your teenagers. Avoid nagging your teenagers, and if the argument between the siblings, both children to voice their problem, and diffuse heated arguments. And always stay calm and use humor, and or sometimes argument might be heated too much and you need to walk away. Avoid getting even worse. Violent behavior and aggression. Always use non-violent and respectful strategy when interacting with your teenagers. Give your teenagers space. Remove yourself from the other person who is aggravating the situations, and set appropriate non-violent consequences, and talk to your child's school. They might have similar problem there. They might direct you or have suggestions. And they're talking about negative discipline can be harmful, and that will increase aggression and antisocial behavior, reinforce the idea that violence is okay, and could lead to low self-esteem, could lead to mental problems and poor relationship. And shout, especially shouting and calling names and things, and shaming the person. isolating as a punishment, probably with the younger children, as Dan said, and I want to stop here. When to see a doctor, we'll tackle that later. The other one I want to show you before we go to break for Maghrib is this. Alhamdulillah, because I'm teaching teenagers, I addressed in one of our class sabr, perseverance, and we gave them this question and saying to them, teenagers should exercise sabr, perseverance, because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they have to say don't agree, slightly disagree, slightly agree, and strongly agree. And the results, subhanAllah, I mean, I put this table. I thought I'll see how people, teenagers, address issues and how their brain function, because it's interesting. The first one, strongly agree with what? They have to be patient because they are less mature. I can't myself read it now. Yeah, they have less income, they have less freedom, they need to study a lot, they need a lot of experience, they receive a lot of orders, mom and dad and teachers and headmaster and everybody, cannot have latest gadgets, and they need balanced diet, they need to get on with brothers and sisters, they have no choice, they can't buy expensive design clothing, and they cannot get married or have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and they have limited house size, and they have limited family income. They might not see it there. This is why you need a technician to sort out straight away what you're doing. If it was on TV, then it would be phones. So the first one agreed with all these. The second one agreed with all these. And mind you, it's 41. The third one agreed. The fourth one agreed. The fifth one agreed. And the sixth one's agreed. And the seventh out of 41. And here they started disagreeing. Slightly agree with what? Cannot have latest gadget. Yeah, you understand. And the second one, they are less mature. He slightly disagree, but he needs balanced diet. He slightly disagree. This is slightly agree, and then things get worse. All of them he slightly agree, but probably I am wrong. The teacher is wrong. And then the next one, he slightly agree with have less freedom. Slightly agree need to study a lot. And slightly agree with need a lot of experience. And then this guy similar, slightly agree, cannot have latest gadget, and cannot buy expensive designer clothing. And then this one totally disagree that they're less mature. He or she are mature. Nothing to do with the score, because there's many questions at the beginning and then that table to fill. Slightly agree with cannot have latest gadgets and cannot get married. I don't know, slightly agree, but probably I'm wrong. Limited house size. I asked him, is everybody will have his own room? One said, all of us have. Oh, you're sitting here. It's your daughter. She said that mom and dad share a room. I said, that's not fair. That's not fair. I mean, when she was little. So, but that's not from your daughter, nothing to do with your daughter. Less mature doesn't agree, and then get worse. They get worse, and then strongly disagree that they are less mature. They cannot have the latest gadget. They cannot have expensive clothing. But here they cannot have boyfriend, girlfriend. They can't get married. All my students less than 17, mind you. So I can't agree that you shouldn't get married, and limited house size. He wanted bigger room or room on his own, and more disagree and slightly disagree. So see the mentality, how they think, how they assess, and how they weigh. So you need to take that on board when you are discussing with your son. You're not going to have the latest designer clothing. He's not going to agree. He strongly disagree, regardless whether you have the money or not, whether it's halal or not, and then gets worse and worse and worse, and eventually you will find the majority, even one disagree with everything, and start disagreeing, disagreeing, agreeing with some, disagreeing. But you see, the mentality is different. SubhanAllah, every child has his own personality, his own like and dislike, his own ambition, and it goes on until become like there's one totally disagree with everything I said. So like this one is majority disagree, and then even more disagreement, and then they go to, where is that disagree with all of them? Yeah, you disagree with everything. Why he agreed, slightly agreed that he's less mature. He's agreed that he's less mature, but he doesn't agree that he shouldn't have all this. So we'll stop here, inshallah. We'll pray Maghrib and we'll come back to